And I am back, everyone. So we'll be continuing already the discussion of memorandum, but this time around we're gonna be dealing with how to come up and how to write your own memorandum. So let's now proceed. So before we move on to really looking into the coming up with a memorandum, we need to still look into first the parts of a memorandum. So let's now proceed. So what are the parts of a memorandum? First, you have the heading. Second one, you have the opening. And the third one, which is about the body. And the fourth one, which is about the closing. So let's now move on. Um, Here at the heading, all the things that are indicated into your heading are the following: the to, the from, the date, and the subject. The to is basically the name and the designation of the recipient. So the second one is about the from, meaning name and designation of the sender. And the date is about the day to day. And of course, the subject is about the topic of the memo. So what is the content of the memo all about? So let's proceed. So this is the example of the heading of a certain memorandum. So the to, the from, the date, and then the subject. Okay. So let's proceed. Next one is about the opening of the memo. So here at the opening, you're gonna be putting what's this? The purpose of the memo, and then of course you're gonna be giving the facts also. Um, where it was lifted. So the examples of that one are the following. Though here is a summary of the measures of the campus security department, taking to ensure that only authorized people are allowed into the administrative office. So as you requested, here is a copy of the annual sales report for our new product mint candy launched in December 2015. So that's the example of the openings wherein you're going to state the purpose of the memo. So as what we have learned from the memorandum, that memorandum is not only about suing, but also if there is something to inquire or to inform or whatsoever, memorandum is very effective. Okay. Now let's now move on to the body. Body of the memorandum is in the format of single space. The body of the memo contains the message of the memo. It describes, explains, and discusses the central idea of the memo and includes all the details that support the sender's idea. So, if there are things that you're going to explain into your memo, you can briefly explain it, but make sure that the explanation is concise and clear so that there will be no misinterpretation and miscommunication into your document. So the body may contain a brief statement of the key recommendation the center has reached. So that's the body. So the next one is the closing. Closing is basically like making a courteous closing statement. Do not use sincerely or other letter-like ending, since it's not really a it's a letter, but not the formal letter wherein we have the sincerely, very truly yours, like that. So the example of that one is, please send your recommendations to me by October 5, 2016, so that we're able to complete the project by the end of November 16. So that's the closing. So, however, we do have other parts of memo that are optional, meaning optional. It's not really prescribed that every memo has this one. It's your option if you're going to put that one. So there are a few optional elements that may be used in the memos. So as per requirements. So these elements are the following: the references, which includes the response to other memos, notices, reports, and other documents, the attachments, the leads, the diagram, the pictographs, the tables, and other sources of data, the distribution list, persons who might be receiving copies of the memo. However, there are some parts of the memo, like into the Department of Education, wherein they're putting some annexes, and that one is under attachment. Okay, so this is an example of a memo that is lifted from from the web. So that's the usual. Okay, but later on we'll be giving you and we'll be presenting to you a document, that really a memorandum that circulating here in the province from the different colleges and school. Okay, so what are the tips when writing a memorandum? So these are the tips when writing a memorandum. First, you have to organize your memo. So for the organization of the memo, you need to look into really the statement of the purpose, the message, and then of course a statement of future action. So here we do have also special formatting and mechanical techniques. You need to use enumeration to list important items. You need to use solid capitals and centering to emphasize on important details. You need to use columns with headings to make reading and understanding easier. If there are some, like for example, scheduling and all, you can put it in columns. Or a copy of the program, you can put it in columns so that it's easy for them to understand. So use underlining and side headings to show natural breaks. Use bullets to emphasize several points. Use boldface and italics when appropriate, and use color coding to attract the attention. So trying to pull bold into the title of the celebration, you can put it like that so that you want to put emphasis on it. Okay. So, however, you need to look also into the important nevers in memo writing. So, meaning there's are the things that you need to avoid. So, first, never write memos or any other communications which are unnecessary. You just put only that the important details into your memo. Never write complicated or hard to understand memos like through vocabularies. Make it simple as it is. So, keep them simple and to the point. Another, never write rude, blunt, or thoughtless memos. Never send memos that have typos, misspelled words, or grammatical errors. Because if there are typographical errors, of course, or some grammatical errors, definitely they will misunderstand the memo that you're sending to them. So they are a poor reflection on you. So make sure that the memos that you're presenting is really, I mean, you really read it 10 times before sending it. Okay? So another, never waste space with unnecessary introductory. Never leave out necessary details, causing people to have to follow up with questions. Okay? So again, as what I'm telling you, try to make it brief, concise, clear, that there will be no more follow-up questions. So never use a closing line or a signature in a memo. But for the others, they have what we call approving authority. But they don't put any more signature line. Okay? So another, make sure, as what we have discussed a while ago in my previous discussion or video lesson, that make sure that your memo is clear, concise, correct, concrete, and complete. Okay? And also make sure that your memorandum is well placed, has correct punctuation and spelling, and be sure that your memo states a purpose clearly, presents the message effectively, and then you need to use a courteous tone, give readers, complete, accurate details, and concludes appropriately. So these are the examples of a memo from Marinduque State College and from the Department of Education. The first one is the declaration of the academic and health break, while the other one is about the dissemination of presidential proclamation about the non-working holiday of October 31 as declared in the DepEd Memorandum 099 Series 2022. However, different offices, they have their own format into the memo that they are having. So it depends on the organization that you are living with, I mean working with also, and therefore you need to follow their own format. However, they still have the same content like the ones that we have, the parts and all, from the heading to the body to the conclusion and all. So that would be all, everyone, for the memorandum. So if you have any questions, feel free and message me into our GC, or feel free to message me into our PM. So another task of yours is you need to come up with your own memorandum. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone, and goodbye.